Hello, this is May Lee coming to you today to share some information about some writing positions. The first one is Oregon Humanities magazine. They have open submissions for nonfiction essays, and the pay is up to $800 per essay. Oregon Humanities magazine has issued a new call for submissions for essays on the theme Fix for the spring 2015 issue. The editor invites Oregon writers to interpret the word and craft a true story about fixing something, an object like fixing a broken wheelchair, or a feeling like mending a broken heart, a circumstance. And those are mainly for Oregon writers. The first line invites submissions for writers' issues, and this magazine pays $50 per issue. The first line, a quarterly print literary journal, helps writers jumpstart their creativity. They are now accepting submissions for another first line prompt. The prompt is, we went as far as the car could or would take us. Writers must use the first line as is and write a fiction story based on it. Recommended word length for fiction is 300 to 3,000 words. The next review or magazine is called Crab Orchard Review. Crab Orchard Review is looking for prose and poetry for special issues. The pay is $25 per page. The Crab Orchard Review is now inviting writers and poets to submit material to a special 2015 issue. The central theme of this issue is 20 years, writing about from 1995 to 2015 poetry and prose that address how cultural and or historical events over the last 2 decades. The next review is the Suburban Review. They need holiday-inspired family story, and the pay is $50 per story. So the Suburban Review wants writers to write about themes such as family for the holiday. And because the publisher is releasing this issue around the holidays, the editor wants prose and poetry with a holiday influence or setting. Writers are invited to write about their picture-perfect or dysfunctional families. The next one is the Alaska Quarterly Review, who's accepting prose and poetry, and the pay is up to $200. Alaska Quarterly Review has opened its annual reading period to review unsolicited manuscripts from writers and poets. The literary journal is published biannually by the faculty and student of the University of Alaska Anchorage. Each issue includes conventional and speculative forms of fiction, creative nonfiction, poetry, and plays. Next we have the Puritan Frontier of New England. The Puritan is a quarterly online literary publication, and they are now accepting submissions for the winter, starting January 2015, and they are looking for 5 categories, or 5 different categories, and you have a choice of submitting whatever you want or how many you want. They're looking for fiction, which pays $40 per story, nonfiction, creative nonfiction, memoirs, and other literary styles such as poetry, which pays $50 an article. Also, the Puritan is accepting poems and prose where they pay $15 per poem in prose. And I think one person can only submit as many as 4 poems at one time. The Allegory magazine is seeking speculative fiction stories, and it pays $15 per story. They are accepting submissions of short stories and essays for the next issue to be posted online in January 2015. The publisher welcomes sci-fi, fantasy, and horror, as well as general spec fiction with an eccentric or humorous angle. He also accepts nonfiction essays on the craft and business of writing. Next is Pulp Literature. The Pulp Literature magazine is seeking strong literary stories and poetry. The pay is 7 cents per word. They have a temporary open, a few-month reading period to curate more stories for forthcoming issues. The quarterly digest-sized magazine features short stories, fables, and standalone excerpts for novels. Next is the Overland. The Overland is published quarterly in Australia. They have posted new topic ideas to help writers pitch relevant nonfiction pieces. Submissions for poetry and fiction are now closed, but each week they update the pitch to Overland page and new nonfiction topics. Next, the Overland pays $400 per plus. That means $400 plus some more per essay. The Curly Girl magazine pays a $25 to a $1,500 article, depending on the guidelines of the article. This is a new magazine that is launching in January 2015. The magazine will be published monthly and will reach the natural beauty care market, offering articles and tips on lifestyle, beauty, holistic health, fashion, green living, and home care. Nell Walking. This is a monthly lifestyle magazine, and it publishes articles of local interest, including current events, local celebrities, business news, arts and culture, etc. Features articles run from 2,500 to 5,000 words. Payment is from $700 to $2,000 per featured article. These are good opportunities for us, and majority of them are looking to have these articles posted by January 2015. And I have included the links to the literary magazines and the literary journal reviews in the descriptions down the bottom. And it will give you more information on each one of these magazines. And I hope that this will help someone out. And until later, have a great day.